Welcome to Basically Sci-Fi, the short story podcast with stories you can basically call sci-fi. I'm Adam.
I'm Jared.
And I'm Todd.
And this morning, I've got some news for you guys.
Is it news like from your life or news that you read?
Oh, yeah, news in my life.
Oh, okay, cool.
Well, there's two news. One of them's not so exciting, and it can be boiled down into one sentence. My tomatoes have started sprouting, and I am a 90-year-old lady, so, I'm totally jazzed about that. But the other news...
Are those your two pieces of news?
Yeah. The other news
Next we need a face reveal.
A face reveal?
Of the 90-year-old woman, and then a sagging back meat reveal.
I'll do a baked cookie reveal. That'll have to be enough. But in other news, I have finally gotten a pet.
What?
Yep. Oh. Me and the old lady were talking about it, and we sprung for a pet. She was like, let's get a dog. And I was like, well, hold up, wait a minute. You've never seen our apartment, but it is literally less than 200 square feet. So I was like, a dog's not going to work. We're not going to get a dog. Not yet. So we went out, and we got ourselves a hamster.
Oh. Great. That was an enthusiastic
You're like, oh. Oh, good.
Todd's
At least
just
it
traumatized because he killed his hamster.
What?
I did not. Although I didn't do anything to help it live a particularly long life. That is true.
Oh, God. Hamsters can be finicky. I remember I was in middle school, and my sister must have been in elementary. She's 5 years younger than I. We both had hamsters at the same time. And, of course, she was a child, basically.
Hamsters.
The final hamsters. No, it actually turned out it's not the final hamster, and that's why this story is a little bit funny, and that's why I'm going into this. My poor sister, she knows now, yeah. So this isn't like, if she listens to it, she's not going to be, like, shocked to hear for the first time.
Okay.
But, her sweet, cute little hamster, she had a little brown hamster. It was a short-haired, brownish, sandy color hamster. Uh-huh. And I had a big fat panda hamster, and named Bob, of course. I thought it was a boy, but it turned out that's not. Boy hamsters are very obvious, and I didn't know that. I was a little kid. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard to mistake them. But look, give me a second.
Testicles.
Yeah, our boy Nathan Scott Phillips, he had some big old stones.
Was Nathan Scott Phillips a kid at your school?
No,
he was a hamster.
Oh,
he was a hamster. That it's more Hohenheim's fault that Nathan didn't make it than mine.
It's Hohenheim's fault. A lot of people didn't make it.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. No, this story's not about Nathan Scott Phillips. This is about Bob.
No, the story's actually about my sister's hamster, which will go unnamed because I've forgotten it. The reason is that one morning we got it, and then about 2 months later, the poor thing died. I'm like, oh shit, oh fuck. And so me and my dad were the only ones home. My mom was at work. She had gotten called in. She was on call at the hospital, so she had to go in. And so me and my dad are like, what do we do? Like, Zoe's at some kind of sports thing or whatever, and with grandma, and what do we do? So we call mom, and mom's like, go buy a hamster that looks the same.
No.
So the reason that we did this is because the reason that we did this is because so I got in on the hamster game late, but my sister had kept trying to get these dwarf hamsters, and they kept we read online that they were sociable, but when we got them, they kept just murdering each other, right?
Yeah,
and it was traumatic for a little kid.
So how many times did you have to go through that before you're
how many fucking hamsters did you?
Not my hamsters. Now, let this be clear. They were in her room, and she was responsible for feeding them, and they ate each other because there wasn't any food in the cage.
No, I am more blaming the parents here that are continuing to buy hamsters just to have them murder each other in front of their daughter.
Well, they're only like $10.
Well, that's not.
Yeah, that's not the point.
Would a cheap way to traumatize a kid, though. Yeah, you're right.
We didn't know that they would eat each other, first of all.
Well, after the first time,
What
didn't
if you
have
starve an
suspicions?
animal?
Yeah, after that first time, we decided to get one of the bigger Syrian hamsters. Before we were getting the like winter Russian hamsters, and those things are like little dwarfs. And they're like really wild. So we got one of the big fat.
That's what Nathan was.
One of the big fat standard hamsters, which
Nathan
are
Scott
technically
Phillips.
the Syrian variety. They're from Syria, and they are a lot more solitary.
Do they wear gaudy jewelry?
They, and unfortunately, I don't know anything about that.
Or a tracksuit.
Tracksuits.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that. My hamster always wore a tracksuit. But so me and my dad go out to find a hamster that looks just like the big fat brown hamster that my sister had gotten 2 months prior. The new hamster. So me and my dad somehow fucked up a little bit, and we bought a hamster that we thought, we didn't have a picture of it, so like, I think this is what the hamster looked like. And like, you know, I was a kid and I didn't know like the difference between boy and girl hamsters. So my sister's hamster originally was a girl.
That part becomes relevant again. Yes.
So when we get back, we put the hamster in the cage, back like nothing's wrong. My sister comes home from school. She doesn't, of course, she ignores the hamster until the evening when mom comes home. And then mom's like, are we going to feed the hamster? And my sister's like, yeah, let's go feed the hamster. Which, you know, first time in 3 days that she remembered to do that thing. So they go in the room, and my sister's like, Mom, why? What? The hamster grew something on its butt. What is that? And my mom's like, oh, I don't know, sweetie. Like staring daggers at me and Dad, because she's like, I thought you got the hamster that looks the same. What are you doing? And then over the course of a few months, this young hamster grew longer and longer hair. Which the other hamster was a short hair, and this one turned out to be a fluffy. And so my sister's like, why did his hair get so long suddenly? And my mom's like, I don't know, sweetie, that just happens sometimes. And me and my dad are like, oh, we're never going to live this down.
Turns out it was a guinea pig all along.
Turns out we bought a guinea pig on accident. No. But that is the story of how... And my sister didn't notice, and she didn't know until her wedding. We told her at the wedding, we were all drunk. So my sister married an Irishman. So we were in Ireland, and the wedding, everyone's drinking.
That explains the drunkenness.
And we were telling old stories, and my dad's like, oh, remember how we got you that hamster that, like, you know, that didn't look like the hamster before it? And my sister was like, what do you mean? Yeah.
Oh, God.
But, you know, she is old enough to think it's funny.
Okay.
Yeah, she thought it was funny. Now she brings it up every Christmas. Anyway. And that's... My hamster is currently sleeping in his like dust box.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah, because he stuffed a whole bunch of fucking wood chips into his house that I got for him, and then he decided to sleep in the dust box. Anyway, that's my news today.
That's a good one. I did not kill Nathan Scott Phillips.
Ooh,
yeah, you did.
Tell me a little bit about Nathan Scott Phillips and why is he named Nathan Scott Phillips?
It's named after a character from a TV show.
I'm gonna have to Google that real quick.
From Aqua Teens.
Yeah.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
Snake.
Yeah. Anyway, that hamster was the only one in the house that was self-sufficient. He went and won himself a race and got free food for life.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I remember that. Tomo was so happy.
The three of us, so Jared knows about Nathan because the three of us were living together. And Tomo wanted a pet. She'd never had a pet in her life, so hamster was a pretty big deal. But I was unprepared to live with a hamster.
Really?
And the story that Tomo always brings up, and I will now bring up anytime Nathan is mentioned as well, is Nathan was running on his wheel at midnight, as they do, I guess. And I figured that the way to sleep in that situation was to just... I couldn't handle it anymore. I got up in the middle of the night. I took the wheel out of his cage and was like, there, that'll put an end to it. Won't have to listen to the wheel anymore. But Tomo wakes up and she's like half asleep and she's like, huh? What happened? And I said, I broke all 4 of his little legs. She immediately woke up and like screamed because she believed I was capable of that.
Oh no!
And I had to say, no, I just took the wheel out of the cage. That's all. That's why the noise stopped.
Yo, hamsters apparently can run fucking 9 miles a day on average.
Oh, I'm sure they need to. Like,
oh yeah, no, they they do 2 things. They eat and then they run. And occasionally they'll play with their wood chips. And those are the activities that hamsters do.
And when you put it like that, it doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah, no, I mean, if I could be a hamster, shit, live for 2 years, pay no taxes. You kidding me? Fuck. Especially the no tax part.
Yeah, they don't tax winnings in hamster ball races.
You know, I got a hamster ball for my hamster in high school, and it never fucking did nothing with it. It never. I put it in there, and it just sat there, and I'm like, well, this isn't exciting. And I put him back in his cage.
I can't believe they let us participate in that hamster ball race, though.
Why?
Yeah, Jared, why?
I don't remember the circumstances around it.
Well, the circumstances around it were that it was open to everyone, but they didn't really think they needed to put a sign out front saying like, yeah, but no college kids with hamsters. Like, this is for
Oh yeah,
this is for
like,
children.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting big like Yakuza 0 vibes where you are the one grown fucking man at the little tiny electric car race event, and it's a bunch of kids.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You fucking beat those kids though, right?
Oh yeah, no.
Fuck yeah.
Yes, definitely.
He won.
Fuck yeah. Nathan
Scott Phillips
went home with the prize.
Turned him into a bunny with pipe cleaners, a stapler, and a pound of human hair.
Wait a minute, what?
Me and Nathan Scott Phillips are cuddling on the inside.
Oh god, that's from Aqua Teen.
Yeah.
I'm looking at pictures of Nathan Scott Phillips,
once,
and he's got
but damn, will it hurt.
Meat wads inside of him.
Yeah, so that's Nathan Scott Phillips.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, when you Google it, there's a whole lot of people with snakes who've named their snake Nathan Scott Phillips.
Yeah.
And a picture of Mickey Rourke. Not Mickey Rourke. Gary Busey, that's the guy. There's a picture of Gary Busey on here, too.
Same thing.
Is there any reason for that? Is he related to Nathan Scott Phillips somehow?
Not related to Aqua Teens, at least. I don't know.
Oh.
Other than he looks like a deceased reptile.
I like how he smiles. Anyway, are you gentlemen ready for a story?
Is it as good as the story of the episode Super Birthday Snake?
I don't know. I've never seen Super Birthday Snake. If you talk about what's that Aqua Teen Hunger Force, the one episode that I remember very clearly, the intro, the fucking scientist man replaces his genitals with a set of antlers and then pisses out of his mouth at a guy. I vividly remember that.
Okay, yeah, that sounds properly traumatizing to be memorable.
Anyway,
yes, I'm ready.
Well, here we go. Okay. Bing bong. The door chimed as it servos word to slide its glass pane out of the way, as a man in a black hoodie and torn jeans ponderously stumbled through. Welcome to Mostly Open. We're open. Mostly, Max said, like reading off of a flashcard in civics class. Max started a betting pool when he started to work at Mostly Open. Jim Cranis's smart aleck idea of a competitor to a chain that happened to be open 7 days a week. He bet $1 every customer coming in after midnight was there for smokes and a drink. Jim refused to bet, so mostly Mac bet with himself. He sometimes won. Jim and Mac had gone to grade school together, and when Jim's uncle died falling into a vat of latex in a tour at the Love Glove factory that had just opened in their hometown, and that wrongful death settlement money came through, Jim had roped Mac into opening a Quickie Mart. Jim was the day shift, and Mac was the night shift because, according to Jim, Mac looked better out of the daylight. Mac never got why. He ate plenty of carrots that he'd heard was good for giving his skin a nice bronzed sheen. In fact, he only ate chicken and carrots. He ate the gym every day, too. 150 kilograms and 2% body fat. He reckoned he should be a, quote-unquote, hit with the women. That's what the forum said he ought to be, at least. Anyway, he mentally... What?
He's a brain cell.
Fuck, I need a second.
Oh, this is what happens when you change characters. You get the opportunity to just like make a bunch of jokes. That's why I like changing perspectives.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to change things around a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, he mentally put $1 down on the guy in the hoodie getting booze. The man ambled to the back of the store and spent an awfully long time back there. People who did that often forgot to grab a basket, Mac noted, which he dutifully had stacked by the door. Nevertheless, they forgot one and needed to carry all the items around in the store in their pockets. They always apologized about it when they got to his register, though. He didn't think it was that embarrassing, but still, they would apologize profusely. He never got upset, but he did wish he didn't have to touch their pocket lint as he rang them up. Eventually, the man came around to the front holding a stick of gum, his hoodie's pockets stuffed in a way that'd make a hamster proud. Mac looked at him level over the counter from where he was sitting. Jim had forgotten to buy amenities like chairs and whatnot for the employees, so Mac brought his own folding chair. He got like 10 customers a night, so sitting helped pass the time. The man put the gum down with a thud and looked up at Mac. He squinted at him as if he was looking at a Rembrandt for the first time. "What's wrong with your skin?" the man said. "Oh, I see you have so astutely noticed my tan. Many thanks. You know, it takes dedication to get like this." "That's not a tan. That's, what's it? Jaundice. Jandass. Yeah, man. So I'd say your eyes ain't supposed to be tanned," he said, putting his hands in his pockets. Yeah, I want all your... I see you have forgotten your basket. It's not really that big of an issue, don't worry, Mac said, standing up, to be head and shoulders over the man. All your, money, coins, change. I want all of my change, if you don't mind, after I, pay, of course. With my, large bill, I'm very sorry. I forgot change, sir, the man said, suddenly emptying his pockets of bags and chips and beer cans. It always went like this, Mac thought. Also, score. He won another $1. He ought to start betting on horse races, he thought to himself. The rest of Mac's shift was dead. Nothing but the bit-tuned knockoff radio and the sound of the occasional car driving past in the rain to keep him company. Sunrise came around, the same time that Jim showed up to clock in. They swapped pleasantries, and Mac got himself a beer on the way out. Why not? He didn't live all that far away. A one-room apartment in a dusty red brick complex down the street from the Mostly Open. At this time of day, there wasn't anyone in the elevator atrium, aside from old Miss Jenkins at the security window. The door button went ping when Mac pressed it. Miss Jenkins pressed the button from her side of a perforated glass wall, and the door into the building swung open. Mac went in and gave old Miss Jenkins a little wave. She was a woman in her twilight years, silvery blue hair she'd recently gotten dyed, and a massive piece strapped under her arm, but strapped on upside down. She squinted at him from behind Coke bottle glasses and gave him a wrinkly little smile. Good morning, Miss Jenkins. Any mail for me today? Good morning, Mackie. You know it's 6 a.m. Mail don't come around till 11. Oh, yeah, that's right. Mac sometimes felt like he was losing his sense of time. Oh, yeah. Sorry. You want a cookie stick? I was up all evening making a bunch last night. The old lady lifted a plate of what looked like uncooked cookie dough rolled into sticks. Absolutely, Mrs. Jenkins. You know I love your baking. Mac tried to smile. Here it comes, he thought. Miss Jenkins grabbed a cookie stick and pressed it against the perforation in the glass, oil from the butter smearing on the glass, as she missed and took another go at it. Mac noticed a few of the other perforations had cookie dough stuck in them already. He heard a pop and the cookie stick had gone through. He put out his hand absentmindedly and caught it. It was warm and wet in his hand. Well, can't be rude. Best not to look at it. He put the whole thing in his mouth and chewing and smiled. Oh, Mrs. Jenkins, you always know how to get to my sweet tooth. He tried not to visibly gag as he swallowed. He was going to have the Hershey squirts for sure. He always did when she got him with her treats. Why couldn't it be a Werther's Originals or something? Am I allowed to...
Is that like a candy specifically targeted at old people? Or
yes.
Is it just from a different time?
It's the classic old people candy. You ain't never had a Werther's Originals from some old person?
No, of course, no. That's what I'm saying, is my grandma had like a, a little glass dish of them just out in the living room at all times.
Yeah, they're little caramels wrapped in plastic.
Yeah.
They are fucking great. I love them.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime I see them, I buy them.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm 90.
Okay.
Let's see. He took the slow, pondering elevator up to the 10th floor and tucked into the microwave plate of leftover chicken and carrots he had in the fridge. Hours later, enjoying that beer, Mac played a game of ad hopscotch, a game of his own inventing. He would start on his browser and type in a word. He went to the first website that came up and clicked on the first banner ad he saw. He'd click on several of them going down the rabbit hole of content. The page he was on now was an ad's homepage for something called a speed chop. Not wholly interesting, but this ad page also had its own ad banner on the side, which made it a unicorn of sorts. He cherished those and immediately clicked. His computer screen went black, and then slowly faded into blue. Little dots of white light slowly twinkling into life around a search bar with a "Would you buy a star?" question in gray text. Would I? That's kind of an odd question, isn't that? There's only one button next to this. Yes, written in Courier New. Mac wondered if he was meant to write something in the search bar or click on the button. The web page was surprisingly beautiful, a pixel art rendition of the night sky, but the UI was terrible. He settled on writing yes in the search bar and then clicking the yes button. That covered both options. When he clicked, it took him to a map of what he thought looked like an 8-bit Milky Way. The page's text prompted him to click on any part, and it enlarged each time he clicked on it. He clicked at random, zooming in, here and there, until a star system came into view. It had an orange star with a set of 5 planets orbiting it. Mac moused over the star and it displayed a name, 1-900-490-FREKE, with the prompt, "Care to buy?" in Courier New. And a price tag, $20. Mac looked up at the URL of the page and read it, realstarbuy.co.ce. Huh. Well, that's not really all that much money anyway, and how many people can say they bought a real star? So he clicked yes, and it took him to the payment page. He had put in his address, telephone number, and at the bottom of the page, it said, "Only prepaid Visa accepted." Well, Mac was certainly in luck today. All he had were prepaid visas. Jim gave them to him as payment on account of, quote-unquote, making them easier for everybody this way. Mac had heard a lot about credit cards and bank accounts from his parents, but this definitely seemed easier. And Mrs. Jenkins took prepaid debit as well, for rent payment. A few moments later, and a few spins of the payment processing wheel, it was all done. His very own star, which he named Tullis, after himself, Mac Tullis. He rolled his computer chair 2 feet over to the window to look out and stare up at the noontime sun in the sky. "I wonder where you are out there," he said, trying to look into the pale blue and not directly at the sun. Notification ping drew him back to the computer. It was an email from Real Star Buy with an attachment. An official-looking certificate in PDF. Mac saved it to a flash drive and decided to head back down to the mostly open to print it out. Maybe buy a frame. The end.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was into it. I was there in the living room.
He has a one room.
To a flash drive.
It's a one room apartment with a shitter in the same room. I don't know if I put that in there yet.
I guess not.
Yeah, he's got the kitchen and the shitter in the same room.
Yeah. I mean, I was getting very, being poor in America vibes. So.
Yeah,
I was like, I know that life.
Oh, that 90-year-old lady has a piece? That's nice.
Spinning between the window and the desk.
So yeah, this week was a whole bunch of high fantasy sci-fi. I hope it's not a little bit too hard to get, but I mean,
I parsed a lot of it. I didn't want to explain what I thought I was getting as we were going through, but I guess I can kind of confirm a few things or check a few things.
Come on.
All right. So this is occurring in the present day.
Yes.
Okay. We got Jim, who's friends with Mac. Mac was the one you said whose father died in a latex accident.
That's Jim. Jim's father died.
Oh, okay, that was Jim. Right. So Jim is the owner and Mac works there. And he's not co-owner or anything, right?
No, he's not co-owner, but they went to grade school together, so they're
But Mac is a giant orange alien?
He's not an orange alien, he's just a giant orange human.
Oh.
He's a giant orange, very muscular human. Brain cell, I guess would be the good word. He gave himself... When you eat too many carrots, you get a beta-carotene deposits in your skin that make you turn orange, like Trump.
I knew this was going to be a thing. I was like, why does he only eat chicken and carrots? And okay.
First of all, he's one of those lift for life guys. So he's tall and built. 150 kilograms is
I kind of got the feeling that it was natural.
Yeah,
he was just naturally really big, but okay, he worked for it. He's
people on Reddit told him to.
People on Reddit. Okay.
Sorry.
I mean, but I like him. He talks like Rock Lee, or your impression of Rock Lee.
Yeah. I mean, he's supposed to be kind of likable.
He's a good boy. Good giant boy.
Not the brightest one, but he is.
No.
He is a big boy.
But nothing to. There's no malice.
About average intelligence for the United States.
Yeah, he's. Yeah. He's working class.
He's a good guy. I like Mac. Also, I noticed that both of my characters now have k at the end of their name, and they're four letters. Monosyllabic.
Oh, Buck
and Mac.
Oh, okay.
Well, if you just stop writing the K down for Mac, then, there'll be 1 3 letters, 1 4.
That's a good point. And
But I mean, they're separate stories, aren't they? This isn't
Oh, this is the same universe.
shared, is it?
Yeah.
It is? Okay.
Yeah.
same universe.
I mean, it's a
I
little
just-
less sci-fi than my other stories. And the reason for that is it's a shared universe.
It's not at all.
I mean, you get the impression that it's setting up some sci-fi with the buying a star, but you know.
yeah.
Although I will say, if I had one punch up for your story, he should have printed off the certificate and put it on the wall next to his knighthood for Sealand.
Oh, I missed an opportunity. No, when I release the anthology series, I'll write that in.
All right.
So with my stories, I imagine that everything I write for the show is going to be all in one shared universe.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. I like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I had like a funny. I mean, I don't want to explain the funny idea that I had as like the inspiration for this because it might ruin the ending.
No, yeah, you're
Yeah, no, don't.
Gotta work for
don't
it.
explain.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just summarize it for you and then go back to writing whatever
No.
something.
Oh.
Okay.
that
And
is,
my last episode, I revealed the butler robots, and I've been sitting on that for a full year.
Oh,
I
yeah.
started writing. Yeah, like
You had
started
dedication.
writing that story.
I'm like, my mouth is
Yeah.
too big. I think I would fucking spoil that shit. Like, half
it
a
was
year
worth
in.
it though. I lost my shit over that reveal. That was so good. I immediately went downstairs and told Tomo, who was like, "Okay," but
Yeah, that sounds about right.
she doesn't listen to the show. But
No.
I was trying to say how excited I was, and she could relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that is what I live for though, is those reveals and getting to that point. So but that is also the fear, is having multiple episodes where like, okay, I guess nothing happened this week. like when you watch, I don't know, when I was a kid, I loved Star Wars and watching the trilogy repeatedly, but I did just watch Return of the Jedi a lot more than the other ones as a kid.
Yeah, that one's more geared towards kids, so.
Yeah. But it was also like I didn't want to watch Empire and then like have a cliffhanger. Like I wanted resolution. So
see, I
Yeah,
preferred Empire to Return of the Jedi personally, but
I think most people do.
I'm not like so.
'Cause it's a better movie.
When you have like a 3-part act, I mean the conflict, like the what do they call it in the hero's journey, the descent into the underworld. So like Empire Strikes Back is a representation of the descent into the underworld in the story arc of Luke.
Yeah, it's
in
the
this
low
case.
point.
And
yeah.
like I don't know,
The
like
low point for the heroes.
that conflict, and then like them starting to overcome that conflict is always the most exciting part of a story. I've heard sitcoms fall into this thing too. Not
Typically.
sitcoms, but long format TV shows that have a definite ending, like Game of Thrones, for example, can fall into this thing where people love the extended middle of a story, where like it's like conflict and like
Yeah.
conflict and conflict and conflict and plot hook and plot hook and plot hook, but like eventually, like they got to pay off and there's got to be like a resolution. And a lot of
Game of
things-
Thrones definitely ran into that with. They had like. How many seasons of that show are there? 8 total?
Yeah, and they had like
They
3
had
seasons
7
of
series. They had 7 series worth of like the dramatic build up to the climax, and then 1 season of just resolutions for absolutely everything.
I heard those
And
guys had other
it
shows
was
lined up,
awful.
but then like after they did Game of Thrones Raw, like the people who were tapping them to write other shows were like, how about never mind, actually, sorry. We found someone else.
I think they ran into some other issue. I don't think it was just that Game of Thrones didn't end well. I think they were. I don't remember what it was now.
Did I haven't
They
seen
were
past
connected
like
to
season
some like
5
real
or whatever, but did they know that it was definitely ending that season? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they knew well ahead of time that season
Okay.
8 was going to be their last season.
So the reason
Okay.
those guys got the show, they got to write the show, was when they were first, HBO was tapping writers to actually write for the show. They, all the writers had to sit down and have a little talk with George R. R. Martin. And these two guys sat down with him and were like, all right, this is how I think the show ends. And then they told him, and George is like, you guessed my ending. But like, we don't know if that ending is the one that we saw.
I thought
right?
it was just the...
Definitely not.
No, it wasn't that they guessed the ending. They guessed who Jon Snow's mother was.
Ah. But either way, they're Game of Thrones like fans, right?
Because I don't think George R. R. Martin knows how it ends.
No, I mean,
I think
You
I
should
remember
know.
an interview somewhere where they were like, "Did the like after the show?" They were like, "Did the show end the way the books are going to end, or is the book going to be different?" And he's like, it's pretty much the same." And I was like, "That's a horrible answer. That's not the answer we want."
yeah, George is so excited to like write something else. I'm worried that man's gonna die before he fucking finishes that show. Like
Show.
not the show, the book
At
series.
At this point, I don't really have much interest in reading more of the books.
I think if the author is good with the show, just ending it for him, I think that's where he's at. I think he's like, look, it's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
We did it.
It was a nice ride.
Yeah. You know. You guys really want to read all this again? Like, I'm just going to write that again.
Just copy paste the screenplay into a book.
Yeah. Anyway, I am excited in the way that I was excited to see, who Jon Snow's mother was. I am excited to see what happens to Mac and his star. And his bad shits that he's gonna get later, which I assume are plot relevant.
Well, I mean, Miss Jenkins is plot relevant.
No.
I'll take that reaction as a solid no. Then.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you can. I guess you can
here's my
weaponize it.
ending. The Buy Real Star website spaceship comes to him, and they're like, "We have come to take you to your real star that you bought." And he's like, "Okay, but hold on, because I gotta take a shit." And then he's in there for so long that the aliens are just like, "I don't think he's coming back," and they leave with
No.
the end.
No, what they do is they show up to announce that he's to come collect his star, but he's on the toilet shitting his brains out, but they don't understand what's going on, so they just walk in and start talking to him. And then they try and get him to leave.
And there's no privacy because he lives in a one-room flat.
Yeah.
Oh, with the toilet in
He's
the
got
room.
to.
Yeah, it's one of them.
He's
Right.
got to explain why he can't leave at that very moment.
He's like, "Come on, sir, stand up." He's like, Eventually,
And
they
they're
just
like,
tractor
"Okay,
beam
well."
him into the air, and he just like fucking shitting as he's.
It just shits all over his floor. You know.
No, that's not how it's gonna go. But
All right,
It
well,
might
if he
now.
can't move, then we'll bring the star to you.
just drop it off at Earth.
Drop the
Yep.
sun on Earth.
Yep.
Anyway, thank you for listening to my story this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. I was excited
good.
to hear something
Yeah.
new, and I'm excited to see how it is relevant to Buck in the future.
Oh yeah, everything's relevant, man. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. YouTube Premium, please sponsor us. Give us that money. I need it. Every little bit helps.
Go to our Patreon. Would you guys believe? Look, someone make a Patreon for us.
Yes, please. But I'm not giving you my bank account.
No.
You gotta pay me in prepaid debit.
See, that was the thing that I was like, this feels like poor in America, but also that's my life in Japan, is using prepaid debit cards, because nobody here trusts me with a credit card because I'm a goddamn foreigner and I have no credit.
Oh God. One of our collective friends he's been here for 10 years and he's married, and his bank won't let him have a fucking, like, actual debit card. So he has, like, a debit card that's, like, on a shared account with his wife. That, like, the bank's like,
Yeah.
Your wife can have 2 cards and give you one. And it's like, how demeaning is that?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Same situation, except I didn't go through the humiliation of getting another one through Tomo. I only use hers.
That's okay. Credit cards are the devil.
Yeah.
Only barter. Anyway, catch you guys later.
Yeah, see ya.
Bye.